Hi, Griffin Bridgers here. I recently wrote an article that had an in-depth dive into the GST tax treatment of Crummey rights and Crummey powers. This week is tax return filing week, and I've been reviewing a number of gift tax returns as part of the last-minute filing procedure that a lot of families now follow. One thing that has stood out to me in reviewing gift tax returns that preparers need to be especially aware of is the fact that a remaining GST exemption that's reported on the return may not actually be accurate or reflective of what amount of GST exemption is actually left to be allocated to transfers. Now, why do I say that? Well, first and foremost, you need to note that there are automatic allocation rules for the GST exemption. And it's commonplace that you could make transfers, for example, to a trust and create a Crummey power and qualify those transfers for the gift tax annual exclusion. But even if a transfer qualifies for the gift tax annual exclusion, it may still have automatic allocation of GST exemption to that transfer. In other words, it wouldn't qualify for a GST tax annual exclusion. So there could be a number of transfers to trusts that have occurred in the past for which no gift tax return had to be filed, but to which there may have been some automatic allocation of GST tax exemption. And that always raises the question, is it a good idea to file gift tax returns on an annual basis to make sure you track that allocation of GST tax exemption? I'm not going to give you a recommendation either way, but what I will say is that it's very important from an accounting perspective if you are creating Crummey rights to actually track at the trust level the outcomes of those Crummey rights, what lapses, what is still active as a hanging or cumulative power, and to what extent is GST tax exemption actually allocated to those Crummey rights. So just some things to keep in mind this week as you file gift tax returns to make sure that that GST tax exemption that remains is actually accurate and reflects reductions for automatic allocations that might have occurred previously but not have been reported on a gift tax return.